Okay, so you've got this formula that when we act, we're likely to cause some kind of suffering, and therefore our actions should lead to a reduction in suffering that is greater than the amount of suffering caused by those actions. So basically you're saying something is moral if it leads to a net reduction in suffering. Are you saying that this formula is the basis for an objective morality in the sense that it's entirely based on objective things? So even though this is a subjective idea that you've come up with, this formula is a subjective idea for how we can measure morality, but what's good about it is that everything in the formula is objective, or because you're saying that suffering is objective, and therefore we don't have to bring in any subjective notions when we work out, when we test whether or not something is moral. Or are you saying that this formula is an objective formula for morality, that it's out there as a fact of the universe that morality is the net reduction of suffering? Because I kind of found that was unclear in your video in which sense you meant that this was an objective basis for morality. I mean, either way, I don't think that it sounds like such a great test for morality, because it kind of seems like total human genocide is what it's leaning towards, because or a destruction of all life, actually, because in a universe with no life there is absolutely no chance of there being any suffering. Whereas in a universe with life there's probably going to be at least a little bit of suffering, if not a hell of a lot.